Well, I want to apologize. I mentioned it at the end of yesterday's video about this SP group session that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be calling it SP Recovery, just because that's a good name. But I gave the wrong date. It's going to be Tuesday, May 30th. Tuesday, May 30th, from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. If you have an SP situation, or if you're interested in this SP stuff at all, or if you're just interested in learning how to clear emotional blockages, as people like to term it, or if you want to basically learn how to deal with uncomfortable feelings more, this session might interest you. It's free, like I said. If you want to join, you can email me, info@radicalcounselor.com. I'll also put the sign-up link for my newsletter, my email newsletter, because that will have the information for the Zoom meeting, which will be, again, Tuesday, May 30th from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there if that interests you. So, yeah, today's video, I don't know. I for whatever reason, I feel compelled to talk just a little bit more about something else I mentioned at the end of yesterday's video, which was just like manifestations are not always fast. That's one of my real pet peeves in the LOA community, law of assumption community space. People making it seem like anything you want, you should be able to manifest quickly. Theoretically, that can happen. Obviously, not only theoretically, it does happen. People have amazing stories about manifesting something externally they want really quickly, like $1 million really quickly, or the ideal relationship really quickly, or a return to health from being in terrible health really quickly. That stuff happens. There's explanations for that. There's a lot of good theories about that. There's wonderful stories. I'm not discounting any of that with what I'm about to say. What frustrates me is people making it seem like you should manifest something that's important to you, that's significant, like a big life thing, quickly. The assumption that you should be able to get it quickly. I just think that's such fucking bullshit, terrible advice, and the kind of advice that's going to turn people off from ever really trying these ideas seriously. And as I mentioned a couple videos ago, you have to try these ideas seriously and seriously work with yourself if you want to integrate them long-term into your lives. It can't just be like playing around. I'm going to manifest $1 million in a couple months quickly, or I'm going to manifest my SP in a couple months. That stuff just absolutely, it's one reason that this channel exists. It's one reason I make videos. It's just to say, fuck that terrible fucking advice. I'm not saying it won't happen for you quickly. I'm just saying that if it's something that you've wanted for a while and that you've struggled to get, whether it's like an improvement in your finances or an improvement in your romantic situation or an improvement in your health, and you've struggled with it, probably not just for months, but for years, perhaps for decades, to think that you are going to then manifest it all of a sudden, seemingly magically, within a couple weeks or a couple months is in all likelihood delusional. It's not necessarily delusional. You could be the exception. But it's not in all likelihood going to happen to you. It's magical thinking that's unhelpful when you really want unmagical thinking when it comes to this stuff a lot of the time. This is, again, a mature discussion we're having here. Most people aren't going to like to hear it. This channel, I mean, we've got enough people who watch this channel who do get what I'm saying. That's why I make these videos. It's for you. If you're new to this stuff or want to give me the dumb fucking SP bullshit, or, you can do whatever you want, fucking show it to me. Show me results then. Something you really want that you've been working on for years, and and you find out about manifesting and you manifest it quickly. And then you do it again for something else you really want. So many one-trick ponies. I don't even like talking about things that manifest quickly. I think it defeats the fucking purpose because there's bigger stuff that, you know, we're constantly trying to manifest. Like for me, for instance, right? I like giving this story because it's a basic story, and it's the kind of that happens, the kind of stuff that happens when you get into these ideas. When I first got into these ideas, I was still working in real estate. I hated being in real estate. For years, I've been trying to think of ways to get out of real estate. Found out about this stuff, started, you know, thinking about using Neville techniques to manifest a lot of money so I didn't have to do real estate anymore. Guess what? Didn't work. But along with that, I was doing a lot of relaxation exercises and able to really feel being more relaxed and just having a more relaxed lifestyle. That did work. Within a couple months of finding Neville, I never worked in real estate again. And I've done what I've wanted career-wise basically for the large part ever since then. I, you know, have had more success, like for instance, publishing and editing books than virtually anybody you're going to meet who's tried to publish and edit books like on, you know, on self-publishing platforms in the last 10 years. It just, you know, that just happened naturally because I was trying to be more relaxed and implement these ideas in my life. But I don't like talking about that because the leading up to me wanting to leave real estate took years, right? It wasn't like I found out about Neville and did one thing. It was like, oh, now I'm gone. I'm done. No, it wasn't like that. Like my publishing stuff, you know, editing stuff, producing stuff, which led to like coaching and stuff. That all happened organically. And there were a ton of bumps along the way. This is like what Maggie always talks about. There's a ton of bumps along the fucking way. You're processing stuff the whole time, you know? Like, let me think, like an easy manifestation. Like my wife became pregnant and we knew we were renting a 1-bedroom apartment. We knew we wanted to move to a bigger place. We're like, I will probably just rent again. Well, let's see if we can buy. What the hell? And so we, you know, we very loosely, not really expecting anything, looked into buying a condo. We looked at 3 places. The first place we looked at, we weren't even going to look at. We're like, oh, it's not in the neighborhood we want to be. We don't really like the area. Looked at it, walked in, looked at it. We're like, oh, this place is great. I think this might be the place. We looked at 2 other places just for the hell of it within 90 minutes of that. We put an offer in on that first place, even though there already was another offer, and apparently like time was up to put in an offer. We put an offer in right then above asking. This is back in like 2017. The real estate market was different. And we got the place. The whole thing was seamless. Finance. We didn't think we'd be able to get financing easily. We got financing easily. We didn't put that much effort into anything. But here's the thing. We weren't trying hard for years to manifest a condo. We just fucking did it. There was no pressure there. Now, starting a family, leading up to that, there was a lot more pressure there. My wife wanted to get pregnant. We wanted to have a kid. We thought about that for a while. It took a long time for my wife to get pregnant. It wasn't like the first month or 2. It took a while. There was stress leading up to that. That all happened before. Just like with me leaving real estate, like there was stress for years leading up to me leaving real estate. The technique, it just happening, relaxing into it, like how we relaxed into buying the condo, which we still live in. That's like the final relaxation part, that after all this other shit has happened that you've had to process. Again, I'm going to link to Maggie's channel. Most people who watch these videos know Maggie's channel, but she's a master at talking about this stuff. I don't talk about this stuff that much. Watch her videos if you're interested in what we're discussing today. But it's a process. It's not like when somebody wants something badly, like an SP. It's probably been a tough situation for a while, either months or years. And it's often when like you're willing to try anything or to give up or to really try something new, to shift into a new state because you've just had it. You're willing to let go because you've just had it, that an external manifestation then occurs. But getting to that place is not always easy. It's not fast. Processing stuff takes time. And the big things you're going to be processing, your life, you're going to be processing in all likelihood as long as you live. things like everybody wants to be in perfect health, have perfect relationships, and have, a lot of money or enough money, to be happy. Everybody wants those things, but the truth is people tend to not have those things, and even people who are supposedly good at manifesting run into difficulties in these various areas at times of their life, or at least in one of these areas. Let me give you another example. I've done a ton of money work over the years because I don't like working traditionally. I never have. I've been self-employed for most of my adult life. The idea of having a 9-to-5 job just never jibed with me whatsoever. But any type of traditional work, I really, that's not me, right? And because of that, and I basically have a bum mentality in a good way. I like being like a bum. I'm artistic, that's my sentiment, that's like my vibe. But because that's my vibe, I've had to do a ton of money work over the years, inner work on myself to become more comfortable and loving about money. And I've done a lot of work on it, a lot of work. And at this point, frankly, I've helped a fair amount of people on inner work with money because I've done so much myself. I have a lot of experience with it, right? And this inner work has made it so I've been able, again, professionally to kind of do what I want, right, for a long time. And, I grew up around a lot of people who were artists, like my friends have an artistic sensibility like this. They weren't business people or whatever. Very few of my artistic friends have had the degree of freedom I have in what they do, They had to work for a school or, do their art on the side or whatever, right? There's very few people that I know who have been able to just kind of creatively do what they feel like, as I basically have done. That's because of these principles and doing inner work on stuff like money, which makes us really uncomfortable. And I have a new book hopefully coming out soon. It's been in the making for 2 years because I keep on trying to refine it, about doing inner work just to become friendlier with money. And I did that video series last year, which is one of the best things on this channel. I suggest you look at it if you haven't watched it yet, if you're into this doing money work, about inner supply. I really try to live by the principles that we explored in that video series, the idea of inner supply, and supply being an inner quality we bring out, as Joel Goldsmith says. And guess what? Even with all that work, which I do daily to this day, I still have issues when it comes to money. I still feel fear and stress when it comes to money sometimes. Sometimes I feel a lot of fear and stress with the uncertainty. Still. And I'm still processing it. And I feel gratified and so thankful for being able to process it and having all these ways to process it. It's long-term work, It's not something that you take a course or do a little bit of, have coaching or learn about technique and then it's done forever. Our relationships we have with other people, like SP stuff, or like with family members, or like with money, like our relationship with money, or our relationship with our health, like our body image. A lot of the time, this takes long-term work. And I just think we're fooling ourselves if it's like, you're going to manifest it quickly. It's going to change overnight. If something changes overnight, chances are you were already working on it before, or you didn't have that much of an emotional charge around it in the first place. Like, I didn't have that much of an emotional charge about, owning a condo, buying a condo or not, But like having a family, there was a much more of an emotional charge about that, Money, it has a lot more of an emotional charge for almost all of us than just like, things we kind of want to manifest. Like our long-term livelihood, that freaks us out a lot more than like, oh, I want to manifest a new chair. So I hope this video makes sense. This video's for the real ones out there. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. We're all real ones. We're all in different, parts of our like we're all learning about this stuff in different ways, these manifesting ideas. But, this video, basically this channel is for people who have been at this stuff for a while or who just want to get real about this advice. And so I hope it was helpful. Yeah. You know where to reach me. info@radicalcounselor.com. Still not really checking comments on YouTube. So just email me if you want to talk to me. My God. People leave all these comments and I'm not even looking at them. Email me and you'll actually talk to me. Until next time, have fun.